Hi everybody, it's Georgia and welcome to this introduction video on Wealth is Within, tapping into the power of your inner life. This is going to be more of a little bit of a professional presentation with a PowerPoint, just because I want you to get some good information and really know what you're going to be getting when you partake in this awesome class. As I have said to those who are already attending, I want to have a good time. So come with your stories, come with an open mind, and be willing to explore the unknown, or as I refer to it, the unseen languages of the universe. Now, as indicated on this first page, I really just want people to walk away and tap into the depth of their own gifts and to have a good time sharing with other people. And the way that we're going to be doing that is learning more about the subconscious and the your conscious brain, and as well as tapping into the other languages outside of ourself that we experience sometimes. That's what's really unique about this class, is that everybody has connection experiences. It doesn't matter what religion you are. In fact, let's put religion aside. Everybody is having experiences of intuition, of connection to something bigger than themselves. Maybe it's nature, maybe it's their experience of God. Everybody is having things happen to them that are a little private. It's like a little private world of your own. It feels like the universe is speaking directly to you. You never know. Maybe the universe is. Actually, I believe it is, which is why I want people to kind of tap into more of their inner self, their true self, or some people call it the inner being, that there is a higher inner being inside of you, waiting just to give you some notes on making your life better. And at the end of the day, that's what life is all about. How do we take our current circumstances, tap into all of who we are, and enjoy life more frequently, and to have peace more frequently, and to appreciate every single day more frequently. That's my goal, is to make the balance of my life more rich and rewarding. Because as far as we can remember, we only have one life, right? Anyways, I hope you have a good time in this class, and let's move forward, and I'll be happy to share more information as we go along. Okay, so what is the inner life? Well, I think these few paragraphs kind of make that clear. It's personal. It's a personal set of experiences that you are having. You could even call it the real inner you. It's part of your private thoughts, experiences, and your values. The inner life is connected to feelings and fantasies and spirituality, or otherworldly experiences. The inner life is also a connection to your true self, the inner being that I mentioned on the previous slide. It really is kind of your own private world, and mostly it's very different than your everyday self that's kind of involved in the outer world. Your everyday self gets up, tries to make a living, is more exterior. The inner life is interior, and it's actually as rich and dynamic as the everyday life. We just don't give it the room it deserves sometimes. So the hope is that you tap into this part of yourself, your inner life, and learn the many languages that are available there so that you can enjoy a more personally satisfying life overall. That is the hope from this class. Deepak Chopra distinguishes the inner life by calling it the true self. The true self. And I think each of us can identify with that, like in the quiet of our everyday, maybe in the morning or at the night, you really take a minute to listen to your true self. And the pandemic made us listen to that true self more than ever before. And once you tap into the voice of the true self, it knows what it wants. It's certain and clear. The true self is stable. It's the real you. It gives you a sense of deep truth. The true self, the inner self, also has a lot of vibration of peace. And mostly at the core of your true self is the existence of just love. So the inner life really makes you connect to your truest self and discover more of who you really are, which we never stop doing even as we age. The inner self, the true self, is connected to all of who you are and were born to be. So just think about it for a minute. We are born with this inner truer self. As soon as we're born, the world begins to kind of do its programming and da 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 da. And then the next thing you know, we kind of move away from the center of that truest self. For example, when I was little, I knew at the age of 7 I was going to be an artist and a writer. My truest self knew that. But, nobody thought that was anything to nurture because the exterior life doesn't really value those things. But my true self knew at a very young age. And that wanted to be connected to all of who I am and born to be. And I sort of feel like I wish I would have known this information earlier, because then I would have spent more years being more authentic to my true self. But that is the journey, isn't it? We figure out later in life what really makes us happy. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but I will share with you that I come from a family of, spiritual people, especially on my Finnish side. However, my dad was a very deeply spiritual person, and who had kind of a series of mystical experiences in his life, which I didn't know about until before he died. So my aunt and my dad and my mom, they were always either seekers or having experiences that were pretty out of this world, not conventional. And they weren't exactly encouraged to share that in the public, because our world has not yet returned to valuing those things. So I kind of grew up with this secret, keep it under your hat. Don't let too many people know. But the truth was, when I was a little girl, I did have some profound mystical experiences with ghosts and with Jesus. So for me, being mystical was just sort of very natural at a young age. I was also very sensitive, and I could feel very deeply. I could feel the feelings of people around me. So I became an empath very early in life. Thus, not only was I sensitive to kind of the unseen universe, but I was extra sensitive to the universe inside other people. Now, let me tell you the truth. This was not something I really enjoyed. And in my 20s, I started to having like prophetic dreams about things that would happen. And I got so upset. I just didn't feel ready for that kind of life. So I put it on the back shelf for a long, long time, which wasn't a good idea because, you can't stop water from flowing. And ultimately, I ended up having some very serious life-changing events with my mental health and with my health that brought me full circle to my true self and my abilities to tap into the unseen universal languages. Once I kind of came to be more honest with my natural gifts and to learn more about them and to not put labels on them, I just started to realize that living more in touch with the inner self is just living more fully. And it's actually a pretty fun way to digest this thing we call life, because life can be tough. And as I began to embrace, just accepting who I am, I was able to let go of the matrix we're born in, all that programming, and think more about how to actively become the creator of my own life, using both my inner life and my expression of who I am in the outer world. And actually, at this point, that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I've learned how to harness the best of these experiences and take them and start to manifest my own dreams. Because that's what I want to do the rest of my life, is manifest my dreams. Well, let me give you a couple of things that are about what I really believe. A lot of people are curious about my religious beliefs, but I believe more in core values, and some of these core values are that I believe that the good stuff of life comes from the inner life, the inside life. So not that I don't want to make money and have nice things. Those are all things I look forward to continuing to have. But in terms of what makes my daily life meaningful, it's the inside things. The second thing I believe is that the kingdom of God is within you. And Jesus said this in Luke 17:20 and 21. And I remember as a very young girl honing in on that Bible verse and really believing what Jesus said. Everything's inside. Everything that you need starts from the inside. And then Jesus went on to say, truly, truly, I say to you, he who believes in me, the works that I do, he will do also, and greater works than these. Now, I believe these are gifts available to anybody in any religion. Jesus was just a reminder to all of us of the potential of what is within us. Many of the prophets have been given to us to teach us of our potential. And this is one of the potentials, I believe. We have the ability to do miracles, to be a miracle, in fact. The other thing I believe is that there's lots to discover and to excavate. And tapping into your inner life and really enjoying it is kind of the door opener to places of yourself you never thought existed. The inner you. The one thing I will say about tapping into this life is that it will require you to reevaluate all the constructs that you've put in place, which actually is good to do regularly, because sometimes we create constructs that make our life seemingly comfortable, but they're just lies or illusions, or they're not really what our inner self feels to be true. That could range from anything from the value of your work to religion to friends. Having an inner life will change you because it will put you on a trajectory towards greater happiness. The one thing that I want you to walk away with from this class and even from this video is to know that the potential of who you are is always expanding. And you're always growing. And if you're not, then you might as well get busy and take a look at yourself and explore the different ways that you can, develop a more enriching life. Because for me, I kind of feel like, I want to make the most of it while I'm here on planet Earth. And tapping into all of these different unseen languages of the universe is a way of what I call broadening my bandwidth. It's a good way to look at it, because all of the different areas of unseen languages and the inner life that we're going to be talking about, they've all kind of contributed to reshaping my thinking about life, and actually, at the end of the day, making my life more rich. As I mentioned earlier, I grew up when I was young, I was having some very interesting experiences. And it kind of set the stage for me always seeking and being open to different ways to see life. And why is that important? Well, life can be challenging. Life can be hard. And looking at life through different lenses, including these different unseen languages, kind of changes reality and maybe gives it a tweak, especially during times when reality is hard. For example, when I was moving through fibromyalgia for many, many years and was very isolated and didn't work, and I was in a position where most of the communication I was having was with my inner life, and I had to kind of connect to God and angels and even my cats in a very different way in order to survive my every single day with a decent attitude. So the inner life gives us ways to survive better and to enjoy life better overall. Every class that we're going to be having will be following a certain agenda, but I hope to have a good time, quite honestly, and give people a space to share some of the things that they've been experiencing, because I know that we all have unique experiences in the inner realm, and I think our stories will be fun to listen to. Why does it matter? Well, at the end of the day, the unseen life, our inner life improves, and tapping into that improves every area of our life. It makes us more complete, more tapped in, tuned in, and turned on as Abraham Hicks says. Why do we want to do this? Because we have a lot of people with mental health problems. We know that tapping into our intuition actually increases our life success. We know that this inner life does make people happier. Studies actually demonstrate that. And the other thing is that there's an inner voice within us that is guiding us. Some people, refer to the kingdom of God is within you, that God is within us guiding us. And tapping into that is helpful to a life that is more peaceful and happier. That we have practices, all of these practices, that they change our attitudes towards life and our peace of mind and happiness. All of these easy practices are actually scientifically being proven to increase happiness, memory, creativity, and our overall vitality. And we also know from science that even the basic inner life expression of creativity, which is one of the languages, it actually, especially in the workplace, it deepens our connections with the people that we work with and our professional success. So they're finding more and more out even about the language of creativity as a way of helping people tap into their greater potential. Here are a few things that I hope that you walk away with from this class. And really, at the end of the day, all I really want you to do is to learn how to tap in better into and appreciate all the different ways that your brain is speaking to you, the beautiful ways that your body is speaking to you, and the other ways that the universe is trying to connect with you. I want people to maybe feel less apprehensive and weird about excavating their greater potential by going within and valuing those kinds of experiences. I hope that you also walk away with resources and tools and actually go home practicing ways to tap into your inner self. And mostly I'm hoping that you can spend time with people who are interested in these kinds of things and ultimately put them into place into making your life a little more rich and interesting. This is a very full page, and I'm not going to read them, but it gives you the many ways that you can get access to your inner life, or those unseen languages of the universe. These are all things that I've done, and I'm sure there are many, many more, but the question is, how do you tap into your quiet self? My greatest love is nature. Nature is where my heart is. So whenever I'm there, in addition to my time praying and meditating, but when I'm in nature, man, it's one of my easiest access points of getting connected to my inner quiet self, which gives me a chance to just listen to life in a different way. So our first class is going to be on exploring in depth the potential of the brain and learning more about your senses and dimensions. Keeping in mind, I'm just somebody working from my own life experiences and not a doctor or anything, but I hope to present some good information and give people a chance to think about their own life experiences and what those things have kind of taught them. And to think about their own brains and how they are using their brains and appreciating their senses and tapping into the many dimensions that are out there, which is kind of fun to think about. Anyways, I look forward to you seeing you on March 10th. And please feel free to share your information with a friend. You do have to register on Eventbrite, or call me directly, or email me directly. And my email is georgiareish@gmail.com. Anyways, have a good day, and I hope that you are enjoying this beautiful day by tapping to the wealth that is within you. Bye-bye.